Welcome to Jamaica, the island of real bad man. Some real dog at you, some real gang bang. No run for the fair, the knock. Step up! These are the moments when every man a travel order. We not instigate violence, but we believe in the self-defense no matter what. These are the moments when every man a travel order. We not instigate violence, but we believe in a self-defense no matter what.
In the unforgiving landscape of the Jamaican Girigaris, there are those who choose to indulge in deception and atrocity. But there are some who will stand before the voiceless, be the strength for the weak, and the defender of the defenseless. We are the Fearless Justice League. Hoorah! 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 Disclaimer. What I am about to tell you about in this story are all allegations and is not necessarily the views of the True Island Stories channel. It may or may not be fiction and non-fiction, so please take everything I say in this story with a grain of salt. And now for our feature presentation. Welcome to True Island Stories. This is a part 4 of the intriguing, intensive Tete story, one of Denham Town's and West Kingston most evilest. Now we continue, so if you miss 1, 2 and 3, I would urge you to go and revisit them. In the year 2010, tensions were brewing up in West Kingston area as the extradition for the area's strongman Christopher Dudus was served to Jamaica. The men from Denham Town and Tivoli Gardens began preparing for their atrocities that they knew were going to unfold on the state. Tete was mostly in Tivoli Gardens at this time. He was amongst Dudus, it was said, most of the times with rifle in hand at the ready. His brother Cersei was also amongst the callous ones that was about to exfold in callousness. Now, in the same year, the Denham Town police goes boom, 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 and dirt a man in a bathroom on Little King Street because they said they were in pursuit looking for him because he was a wanted man. He was wanted for multiple murders, amongst other crimes. When they entered his house, it is said, him pop off a 40 pan them and open it out, and shave off one eye police mustache, and the police them go so boop, and rise back A1 John them, and shell down yours like peanut. The man them shell down like boy leg, and the people go so and collect about 99 chest plate and go and jump in the kitchen sink to blood plate and she don't go so look down for the dirty plate full of overnight sardine and salt mackerel gravy, and in blood does a jip in the plate. Tip top, while red liquid flowed from his upper extremities. His upper torso was riddled with bullets like it was a bullseye, a target practice if you will, and blood oozed from his nose. He was a goner. It is alleged that while the man who was dirted was kicking it back at the police force, he had called men in the area before he perished, mostly strikers, to come at his aid, but they let him down. They never showed, it is said. Some argued that the men showed up, but their compatriot was already dead. It is alleged that the men even knocked shot at the police them, but the cops outnumbered them. They were out in full cry. About a 80-man column go free pilgrim, full of police, you see me, and a no retreat, no surrender settings. On May 23rd, 2010, the Battle of the West began with the unscrupulous men from Coke's administration and the security forces of Jamaica. Stop. Let us look back for a time. 4 minutes. Prior to the incursion, it is alleged that Tete's uncle Desmond Mackenzie was in the area, and he asked to speak to Dudus, who wasn't present at that point in time. So he was given the phone by one of Dudus' pilgrim, and Dudus answered it. So Dudus was given the phone by one of his pilgrim. When Desmond got on the phone and was talking to Dudus, he said, "Mikey, I bet you give yourself in a brother, cause God know you know. It not look good. It not look good." It is alleged that Dudus' reply was, "Alright,
Give back the man where gave the phone. Give him it back. The man that turned up beside you. After handing back the phone to the man who happened to be none other than the Black Satan of West Kingston, Tete himself, Mr. Evil himself. And about a few seconds later, Desmond was allegedly seen getting some solid and healthy box across him jawbone. They said that Dudus didn't pick up whatever advice Desmond was putting down. While the incursion was taking place, Tete could be seen firing his rifle viciously in the middle of the excursion. And I direct traffic and I go across and I come back across and I lie down flat on his belly and I lift up his 6 pants over him head. And when it done a load, a man goes boom and throw my next maga and him goes and drop out that and goes and ratchet one night and goes and crank up that and goes and I beat it back on him. Them says me at the leg of the incursion. Man, shot rag out indiscriminately all over the area, but Tete wasn't giving up. That wasn't in his DNA. Not the callous and gangrenous compatriots either, who were all about defending their dawn and to dirt as much coppers and soldiers as they could. But sadly, they were kicked to the curb though, because the police force, they scolded them like some insolent child on the blah blah blah. Gummy Bear, who was amongst their presence the night before, was so tired that he fell asleep in his house doing all this fracas. And when they retreated, Gummy got left behind. The bear got left behind at a pot of porridge. A cool it. But don't worry though, Gummy stories coming soon to True Island Stories channel. So during the battle, Tete's brother Cersei was kickled up. Yo, some soldier back him up on a back market, and me I tell you, him have 2 Glock 19 and fire in a man. Until one of them was nothing left in my belly in a man and goes and lift out the next one in a man and change and with it and start knocking. I see some people high back a bungalow skeleton and the man goes and seal back some skeleton and fire me. I tell a man, fly through the skeleton and the onion, the man lick Cersei, the man them lick out the bitterness out of Cersei, man. Run a back market, wake up, but he challenged them relentlessly before being put to the sword, before being sent to the way of Old Yellow. He, Cersei, and his accomplices lit the back market on fire though, to ward off the soldiers who were hot on their tails like some mad bloodhounds, hunting for runaway slaves in the era of the 1800s. Know anything about history now, do you? Thought so. After the standoff and the men from Tivoli escaped, Tete took to the south side in NWO. Now he sought refuge from Pogo and crime. At this time, other men from West Kingston were also in Southside seeking refuges from the security forces, but they were over on Fleet Street and other lanes in the community. So Tete got word that some of these men were planning on clamping down the machines they had, which belonged to the presidential clique. This is Steam, you're mad? And he made this known to Pogo, who got pink when he heard this. Yeah, mad, bigger. None of them fussy can't make guard man them feel no way about salt. Me will self-figure dirt them. No! Toguro has spoken! We have come to the end of part 4 of the highly electrifying Tete story. Join us for part 5 and the finale coming soon of the Black Satan of West Kingston, Denham Tones. One of Denham Tones, I should say. Most evil. Wow, good. Stay touchable. Check out the other stories on the channel. If you're just joining us, please do press that notification bell, for which you will not be charged a dime, neither for a comment or a like. Thank you. Tell a friend to tell a friend. The girl. Oh, already spoken. Wow, good. Stay touchable. But if you choose to pick up the gun or the knife, then there's a chance you might end up in True Island Stories War. Well, you choose I am Joy. Peppa, you know the real J-thing, how I grow up, sometime the road tough side slow.
Real patriots never buck, never fall. How they get to run? That's why. Back from the boy who not do that. Boy, who no can't kill with joy, who no boy. Who from your soul don't know what wrong boy. Yo, and a man bust a shot him off a pack up and board. Pointed pon him head back and board. Pop off him strap on him friend him for door. None of that, no assumption. I saw the ground rough, yeah. Power, married to corruption. Criminal, bred from limited options. 10 generation. I see the said someone wanted man will live long. Name one. Things forever bury with no done. Name one. And good honest politician. Name one. And get a youth resilient. Back from the boy who no do that. Boy, who no can't kill with joy. Who no boy. Who from your soul don't know what wrong boy. Yo, a man better boy. And a man bust a shot him off a back up and boy. Pointed on him head back and boy. Pop off him strap on him friend him for door. None of that, you a man better. Things risky, for the misfit. Death rate fit the logistic. Chris, I want the biscuit. Be a tough crackers with the whiskey. You're not listening. Crime live here, so it's not visiting. Visitors, careful, you know what the business is. Murder, plunder, pillaging, bloodshed in all the villages. You name it, you will live in it. Get rich, I do a special delivery. Nightmare, tormented images. Vengeance, bloody cycle continuing. But know you seek that, but it's no revenge. Looking at the mirror, there is no different. Man, we're full of, hey, and we know we trends back from the boy who not do that. Who no can't tell with joy, who no boy. Who from your soul don't know what wrong boy. Now a man better. Any man bust no shot him off a back up and boy. Pointed on him head back and boy. Pop off him strap on him friend him for door. None of that, now a man better. No assumption, I saw the ground run. Power, married to corruption. Criminal, bred from limited options. 10 generation. Passing the said someone wanted man will live long. Name one. Brings a fella with no name one. One honest politician. Name one who. And get a youth resilient. Back from the boy who not do that. Can't kill with joy on the back. Who from your soul don't know what wrong boy. Yo, a man better boy. Any man bust a shot him off a back up and pointed on him head back and pop off him strap on him friend him do none of that or that. Yo, you know the thing going on, suck a seat up a beat, you know. Hey man, take your time man. Boy, man.